Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain what is AWS Service Mesh and what are the benefits of AWS Service Mesh and how it works. Let's see. So firstly, what is Service Mesh? So Service Mesh is a dedicated infrastructure layer for handling service to service communication. So Service Mesh is a simplify managing complex microservices communication. When you have a lot of small services in an application, they need to communicate with each other, which can get complicated. Service mesh make it easier to manage these connection without having to adjust the code for each service. It manages communication security, observability, and reliability within microservice application. So service mesh increase resilience, observability, and security to make the app more reliable and give you better visibility into how service interact and improve security. This means if something goes wrong, it can handle it better. You can see what's happening more clearly and your data stays safe. Let's see why we use service mesh. So firstly, reliability. So it's improved traffic control and retries. So service mesh make you make your app more reliable by managing how requests are sent between services. If one service is busy or fails, it can automatically try again or redirect the request to another instance. So this keeps everything running smoothly. So next one is security. It's secure communication through mutual TLC. So it makes communication between services more secure by using mutual TLC. TLC stand for transport layer security. So this ensure that only trusted service can talk to each other and that the data they share is encrypted. So no one else can access it. Next one is observability. So, detailed insight and monitoring of inter-service communication. AWS Service Mesh provides a clear insight into how services are interacting, make it easier to monitor performance and troubleshoot issues. So, you will get a detailed metrics and logs to see how each part of the app is doing, helping you spot and fix problem faster. So next one is policy management, centralized control of access and traffic policies. Within the AWS service mesh, you can control who can access which service and set rules for traffic, how the traffic flow in one central places. So this centralized policy management simplifies the setup and enforcement of security and traffic rules across your app. Now let's see architecture of service mesh. So this is the microservice container. So it's like a larger app running inside the container. So this is the proxy. It's a separate component that sits in front of the microservice. It handle all the communication coming in and out of the microservice. This proxy can handle and monitor and secure the traffic. So this is the external traffic. So it goes to the proxy first, and the proxy decide where to and how to forward this request to the microservice or container. Now let's see how AWS App Mesh works. So firstly, traffic flow control. So route traffic between the service using the virtual routes. So app mesh help direct traffic between the different part of your application. It use virtual routes to route the request, meaning It can decide which part of your application should handle the each request. This is especially helpful if you want to balance loads or test updates within the small part of your traffic fast. Next one is communication security. So app mesh use AWS certified manager for encryption. So AppMesh keeps your data safe as it moves between services by encrypting it. It uses a tool called AWS Certified Manager to handle the encryption. So your service can communicate securely without needing extra setup. Observability and monitoring. It collects the data via AWS CloudWatch and AWS X-Ray. So AppMesh collect the data about the traffic flow and the performance of your application. So this information goes to AWS CloudWatch and AWS X-Ray, which let you monitor how well your service are doing, find any issues, and see how different part of your application interact with each other. Now let's see uh, difference between the AWS AppMesh and the traditional service communication. So, firstly, traditional service communication. Uh, it contain a limited scalability. So, each service call is hard coded and required update for any changes and make it harder to manage as more service are added. So AWS as mesh is highly scalability. It contain a highly scalability. So app mesh allow for easy scaling by managing and monitoring many service centrally. So next one is security. So in the security, traditional service communication require manual security configuration like encryption and access control, which can be inconsistent across the services. In the AWS App Mesh, it enhanced security. It contain a enhanced security. So App Mesh provides consistent encryption and authentication across all service connections, making it safer. Next one is complexity. So, in the traditional service communication, it is simpler to start with the fewer service, but becomes complex to manage as the number of the service grows. Changes require code updates in each service. So in AWS AppMesh, it initially more complex to set up, but simplifies overall management. It updates and control can be done centrally without changing each service. Now let's see pros and consequences of AWS AppMesh. Uh, Firstly, let's see pros of AWS AppMesh. So it is fully managed by AWS. AWS handle this setup, maintenance, and monitoring. So you don't have to worry about the managing it yourself. So next one is scalable and reliable. So it built to handle a large number of surveys smoothly and automatically help with the retries and failovers if something goes wrong. So next one is integration with AWS services. So it means App Mesh works well with the other AWS tools, making it easy to connect with them and keep everything within the AWS ecosystem. Now let's see cons of AWS App Mesh. AWS service dependency. So you become a more dependent on the AWS services. So switching to different cloud provider later might be harder. Added complexity for smaller application. So for a smaller or a simpler application, app mesh can be overkill and make things more complex than the necessary. And it requires a knowledge of networking and security concept. So you need to understand some technical details around the networking and security, so which could have a learning curve. Till here, guys, you have seen what is the meaning of AWS App Mesh, how it works, and what are the key components and what are the uses of AWS App Mesh. So thank you guys for watching this video.